Hey sassy lady, this is Matri, एक social media marketer, एक mother and a simple yet sassy woman just like you. ये है Little Fixes podcast, आपकी evergreen audio lifestyle magazine. यहाँ मैं और मेरे guest शेयर करते हैं sweet, simple and practical ideas to help you in improving every aspect of your life. Career, fitness, mental health and personal growth are just some of the topics we cover. This podcast is like the real talk you have with your real friends. So continue what you're doing and keep listening. Hello sassy lady. Thank you for joining me today. Money. पैसा हम सबको चाहिए और आप एक्सेप्ट करो या नहीं, ज्यादा ही चाहिए. पर ऐसी बहुत सी चीजें हैं जो हमें ज्यादा अर्न करने से रोकती हैं और कई बार कॉम्प्लेसेंट भी बना देती हैं, जिससे वी एंड अप लिविंग इन डिनायल कि भाई मुझे तो पैसा चाहिए ही नहीं. बहुत से लोग सोचते हैं कि अमीर लोग कनिंग होते हैं या मे बी घमंडी होते हैं. मैं तो कभी एक लिमिट से ज्यादा अर्न कर ही नहीं सकती. अगर किया तो कुछ गलत हो जाएगा या सारा पैसा चला जाएगा. इतने सारे नोशंस हैं कि एक एपिसोड तो सिर्फ ये मनी स्टेटमेंट्स बताने में ही निकल जाए. ज्यादातर केसेस में आपकी फाइनेंशियल रियलिटी का रीजन फाइनेंशियल ट्रॉमा होता है. ट्रॉमा इज अ बिग वर्ड, बट आज का एपिसोड सुन के आप समझ जाएंगे कि फाइनेंशियल ट्रॉमा ऑलमोस्ट हर किसी की लाइफ में है, इंक्लूडिंग योर्स. तो आज के एपिसोड में जानेंगे कि फाइनेंशियल ट्रॉमा क्या होता है, कहां से आता है, इसे कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें और कैसे हील करें. मैं बात करूंगी डॉक्टर गौरव डेका से. Dr. Gaurav Deka is an internationally recognized speaker, coach, and expert on childhood and family trauma resolution. He follows a systemic approach with all his clients and resolves them by using mindfulness-based methodologies rooted in neuroscience, somatic awareness, and breath work. He is also a pioneer in the field of family constellation and is a leading expert in inner child integration therapy in India. So, because of his background as a medical doctor, Dr. Deka brings an integrative and neurophysiology modeled approach for the complete wellness and mental well being of his clients. So, that is an amazing, amazing introduction. Now, let's welcome Dr. Deka. Hello, Dr. Deka. I'm thrilled to have you on Little Fixes.
Hi, Maitri. I'm really glad to be a part of this show, of this podcast. Thank you so much for inviting.
So, Dr. Deka, I have given your introduction. There are a lot of big words involved. So, it is also mentioned that you are a medical doctor and you are also a coach. So, how did these two happen? Like your journey in a nutshell.
Right. So, in a nutshell, it's very simple, actually. So, when I was studying medicine, in my second year, I fell into this dark pit of depression. And I could not get out of it despite taking medication. And because I grew up and I studied in Guwahati, which is in Assam, so it's one place where we did not have access to therapy. We did not even know therapy existed. Mm-hmm. So the only access that you have is medicine, because you go to a psychiatrist if you end up having anxiety, depression, phobia, whatever you say. And then it still didn't help me. So that somehow took away my faith to a great extent on how chemicals or pharmaceuticals can help us, affect us positively, because it did not leave a positive impact on me. And as a result, that led to a journey of trying to find out what exactly is this void, what exactly is this darkness, why am I moving into depression, and what exactly is depression? There is no reason, there is no known story. I don't have a proper understanding of why I feel the way I feel. And as a result of that, it took me to various places, to many, many different people who showed me ways by using different alternative methods by which I could have access to my childhood traumas. I could have access to my traumas of my lineage, my generational line, and traumas of my past life. And all of these, how I was reflecting through this depression, through the darkness, through the abstract metaphor of mental illness that I was going through. It had roots way deeper than I could understand just by studying medical science, I guess. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my journey into alternative therapy began by my own search, so that I could, as a client, find solutions to my problems.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I have a question. कि आपने बोला कि you could not find your solution the solutions to your problem in medicines, right? Or
Right.
आपने alternative therapies, like you mentioned, you tried and you healed yourself. So
Right.
तो do you believe कि medicines work ही नहीं करती हैं इस तरीके की चीजों में, या फिर conjunction में work कर सकती है, या फिर only these alternative therapies are better options or maybe the only options?
So thank you for asking me this, Maitri, because we have to understand that the work that all of us do, be it therapy, be it doctors, be it coaches, or maybe a physical trainer, all of us are complementary and integrated experts, meaning
Mm-hmm.
that all of these work in conjunction in an integrated manner. Of course, medicines help me stabilize my chemicals. It helped me sleep better. It helped me bring my mood to a stable level where I could read, write, eat, talk to my parents. All of those were possible. But the deep void of unexplainable sadness, unexplainable distress, deep grief that I was feeling, to which I could not put a reason, that medicine failed to provide. And that only these therapy and exploring my inner story gave me a different light. So, yes, all of these things, food, exercise, therapy, medicine, all of them work in conjunction always. And hence we call it integrated system or integrative therapy or integrative medicine instead of alternative.
Right. And it is mentioned in your bio also, like you mentioned your work, you follow an
Right,
integrative model approach. Yeah.
right,
So चलिए फिर अब बात करते हैं financial trauma की. So we'll
right.
start with the wanting to know कि what is financial trauma?
Okay. So this is an interesting question. I speak about money a lot because I find it really interesting how people look at money. What we fail to understand when we look at money is we have an emotional relationship to money and not just a transactional relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our our inner image of money, how we look at money, is very much linked to how we look at intimacy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because of our emotional relationship to it. Okay,
Mm.
so then these intimate awareness of money are formed long time back when we are children. For example, how we see our dad spending money, or how we see our mom saving money, or let's say if we come from a family where we only have seen lack, or if we have come from a family where everyone has tried their level best to preserve money, and probably the outsiders call them misers. Whatever the money mindset is in the entire family is what we inculcate, we absorb. So it is important to ask that whether, let's say, mom was a saver or a spender, or maybe dad was a miser or a holder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So depending on that, our money beliefs are formed. Let's say all our life we grew up knowing that, okay, you have to study till the age of 30, and then at 32 you will get a job, and at 35 is the time when you will start earning a certain amount of money, let's say $3,000 or $4,000, right? But before 35, you can never have that kind of money. So that's a very strong belief. But that is also provided to us by our parents, isn't it?
Yeah.
Similarly, you have to be really careful with money, because if you earn money and if you cannot handle it, cannot manage it, it is going to slip out of your hands. These kind of sentences and belief systems we borrow from our parents because we also grew up listening to them. And the reason they say such things is because they believe in it strongly. Why do they believe in it strongly? Because it's possible that someone in the family truly could not manage their money, and they lost all their money. And after that, the entire family grew very scared that no, we shouldn't be like this XYZ uncle or XYZ grandfather, or we shouldn't be like our grand uncle who wasted all that money because he never knew how to manage it, right? Similarly, let's say some people often tell me that people, whenever a large chunk of money appears in my bank account, I get really, really scared. And I ask them that, okay, when you get scared, what exactly is this fear can you tell me more about this fear? And they say that, no, I don't know exactly this fear. I just get very scared. And I ask them, okay, tell me, what is the worst thing that can happen? And some people tell me, I think someone is going to loot me. And I can't have that kind of money because it's so scary. Any moment someone can appear and all that money might disappear. And I immediately ask them that, has there been any story of looting or large chunks of money disappearing in your family? Oh yes, there were these dacoits that came to my grandfather's house. I was not even born back then. And then my mom and my dad and everyone, they were like really small. And there was this huge uproar of money being taken away. And I say that, yes, because the energy of that event and the reaction to that trauma of losing money is present in your family, is present in the whole system. And it's slowly, like water percolating down to you, right? So people's limiting money beliefs do not appear out of the blue. They come from their parents, and the parents hold on to it strongly because something has happened in their family. A trauma has happened in their family, as a result of which they believe in what they believe in, basically.
ओके सो जैसे अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ तो मेरे साथ क्या होता है कि इनिशियली व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड अर्निंग ऑन माय ओन, मुझे लगता था कि आई विल नेवर बी एबल टू अर्न बियॉन्ड दिस पॉइंट, या फिर व्हेन आई अर्न दिस मच मनी आई विल बी हैप्पी. बट मेरे साथ क्या होता है कि व्हेन आई क्रॉस अ थ्रेशोल्ड आई एम लाइक कि नेक्स्ट मंथ शायद इतना पैसा नहीं आ पाएगा. I will not be able to sustain it. Like maybe next month नहीं sustain हो पाएगा, maybe after 2 months नहीं sustain हो पाएगा. तो इस तरीके के थॉट्स बहुत सारे लोगों में होते हैं, और हमारे जो साइकी होती है उसमें इतने ज्यादा इनग्रेन्ड हो जाते हैं कि हमें लगता है कि यही रियलिटी है. लाइक वी कैन नॉट चेंज इट, वी लिव विद इट, राइट? सो लेकिन इसको रियलिटी से डिफरेंशिएट करना, लाइक हाउ डू वी फिगर आउट कि वी हैव फाइनेंशियल ट्रॉमा, लाइक दीज पैटर्न्स आर नॉट नॉर्मल बिकॉज वी हैव grown with them.
Right. So one thing we have to understand, that every human being on this planet has trauma, whether it's financial or whether it's otherwise. And what exactly is trauma? Trauma is any state of overwhelm that we cannot process. Okay. Our body and our nervous system and our minds cannot process what has happened. For example, right now I'm speaking to you. My laptop is in front of me. I have a glass of water on my left, and I have my chair on my right. So I'm able to make sense of my environment. I'm aware. My cognitive faculties are normal. I can communicate to you. My language center is intact. But when trauma happens, then what happens is, first of all, your nervous system collapses. You cannot make sense of your reality. मान लेते हैं कि एक्सीडेंट हो गया है, and as a result of which you are unable to make sense of where is the steering wheel, where is my leg, and where have I fallen, what place is this, what day it is, all of those things. So you can't make sense of your reality. Similarly, what happens with money? With money, what happens is, if there are traumas associated with money, for example, if let's say grandfather had a lot of money and someone took it away and looted him, and the entire family went into trauma collectively, went into shock collectively, and they all felt that, okay, now we need to hide whatever money we have so that this cannot be taken away. Now, each person in the family believes that it is only by hiding whatever money we have, we can save ourselves, because the main agenda is to be safe, right? Everyone is in a state of overwhelm, unable to process the entire experience. So now the reaction to that experience is what? It is hiding. Let's hide, let's hide, let's hide. Now, let's say 3 generations down the line, I am born, and my only impulse of money, the moment I have it, is hiding. But I also want to be visible to people, be popular, be known. And then when people say that, he's so popular or he's known, he must be having a lot of money, I immediately feel an anxiety in my chest, because my natural impulse that I have learned from my grandfather story from my mama, from my masi, from my mother, let's say, is hiding because that's my natural inclination to protect myself from the overwhelm. And as a result of which, I stay with this constant anxiety about being visible in the world, being successful, being known, to have so much of money that people can talk about me. So I may impede and stop my own growth because my strong impulse to hide money or to hide any abundance that I have is pulls me back from being successful. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm making sense with this, but this is how we may start having certain beliefs, which on the surface may feel really normal, but might also stop us from living the life that we really want to have. For example, if we go to your thought or
Mm-hmm.
your statement of, I think next month I may not be able to make what I have made this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So already I'm assuming that, I may not be able to make ends meet, or I may not be able to have as much, which means that there is a concept of how lack looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you look back in your family line, you will see that there are probably people in the entire family from where this belief is borrowed, that this month or this week I can make it, but next week or next month I can't. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's how beliefs are formed and how they become a part of our family traumas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, becoming aware of our patterns is very important कि ये चीज हमें बार बार फील हो रही है, बट व्हेन वी लुक एट अदर्स तो हमें लगता है कि उनको क्यों नहीं फील हो रही है. तो ये डिफरेंशिएशन वाला जो पॉइंट आता है, इसको हम अपने आप समझ सकते हैं या फिर हेल्प चाहिए होती है, लाइक हाउ डज इट गो?
Okay. Right. Of course, when people come, they don't come with the understanding that, this is what happened in my family, this is what
Mm-hmm.
happened with my mom, or that is what happened with my dad. No, they will come with symptoms. And how do the symptoms look like? Okay. So the symptoms can be, let's say, oh, I make a lot of money, but then I don't know where all that money goes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one symptom. The
Mm-hmm.
other is they will say things like, I always feel so anxious about people taking advantage of me. Or as I said, a strong need to hide. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And some people will say, the moment I have money, I spend it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or as I said in the beginning, that I don't know why I am not able to ask money from people, even if I deserve it, even if it's, my clients or people who are supposed to pay me. I just feel so guilty. And I don't know why I feel like that. And all of these statements have a certain charge to it,
Mm-hmm.
have a certain energy to it. And it tells us that their relationship with money is not just transactional. They have an emotional relationship. People attach their guilt, their fear, their sadness, their grief, their rejection, their neglect to money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and most importantly, their self worth. So people are so enmeshed with these emotions around money that they cannot look at the story that is beyond these symptoms. Hence, in a therapeutic setup, it is always helpful to look at these symptoms as gateways, as portals that actually take us back to where in the family did this belief begin? And only then the release can happen. So, yes, some people can be aware enough to differentiate their belief systems from
Mm-hmm.
their financial reality, but most people will find it difficult and hence will need some help to release all of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we talked about awareness. Now, with awareness comes judgment. कि हम अपने थॉट पैटर्न्स को समझते भी हैं, बट स्टिल वी कीप जजिंग आवरसेल्व्स. हम अपने थॉट पैटर्न्स को नेगेटिवली लेते हैं कि नहीं, मैं तो ऐसे ही सोचती हूँ, मैं तो नेगेटिव ही हूँ, मैं तो पैसे संभाल ही नहीं पाती हूँ. लाइक वी आर अवेयर बट स्टिल वी आर जजिंग कि हाँ, ये तो हमारा पैटर्न है, आई एम अवेयर ऑफ इट एंड आई एम लाइक दैट ओनली. तो ये जो अवेयरनेस और जजमेंट वाला जो पार्ट आता है, इसको हम कैसे समझ सकते हैं कि वी आर अवेयर और वी आर जजिंग आवरसेल्व्स, लाइक वी आर रियली हार्श ऑन आवरसेल्व्स? बाहर से कैसे देख सकते हैं सिचुएशन को?
Right. So, the word personality,
Mm-hmm.
the word personality can be broken down into two parts: personal, reality. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that our personality, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ, मैं तो मनी स्पेंड ही कर देता हूँ, मेरे से तो पैसे बनते ही नहीं है, I can only earn this much, I can't do hard work, or money can only happen through hard work, there is no easy way out. All these beliefs are so entangled in our personal reality that it becomes a part of our personality. In fact, they become our personality, right? And hence we carry it like a dress, carry it like a badge, carry it like a symbol of who we are by presenting this personality out in the world. Usually people go on with their life like that. मैं ऐसा ही हूँ, मैं ऐसी ही हूँ. That's how people go on. But most people um, will probably question their existence and their reality when things will not work out. Let's say, let's talk about a man who is a businessman, is an entrepreneur, and his business demands him that he goes out of the house at 7 p.m. in the evening and come back at 10 in the morning. Okay. Now, let's say if this man, when he was 6 or 7, his grandfather used to go out every day for an evening walk post 7. And one day, this grandfather got mugged. People looted him. They were thieves. And then he comes home and he tells the story to everyone in the house. And because the child is so close to the grandfather, he tells the child also that please don't go out post 7 because I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want things to happen to you. Now, this child at that moment is vulnerable. His brain is like a sponge. He absorbs everything, and he will absorb it even more if his grandfather is telling him that. Now that becomes a part of his subconscious memory, right? To understand that if you go out post 7, you could lose something really valuable to you, like money, like it happened to granddad, right? Now, up until let's say age 39, this man who has now grown up from the child stage, this man had a job which was 9 to 5, meaning he goes at 9 and comes back at 5. Now, at 39, he decides to become an entrepreneur, right? So around 40, his job demands that he has to go out at 7 and then he has to come back at 10 in the morning, 7 in the evening, 10 in the morning. Now, what he's going to feel is the moment he is driving that car to his business center, he goes through all kinds of palpitations, his hands sweat and his feet go numb, his cheeks flush, and he's full of anxiety. And he's unable to understand, why is this happening to me? I was doing well. So what changed? The change is his timing, right? So until he was 39, he never questioned his belief about going out post 7. But now going out post 7 was a necessary step for him to grow as an entrepreneur. And that's when his body starts reacting in a negative way. And maybe that's when he goes and knocks at the door of a therapist and says, I don't know what happens to me. I go out post 7 and I go out in the evening and this is what happens, but I have to go out because it's my business. And then the therapist will start unrolling the story. So what I'm trying to say is people have their personalities along with their limiting beliefs and they proudly carry them. But until those limiting beliefs truly start limiting the life they live, they will not question them. And hence, that's how they will continue to live, basically.
Okay. और लिटिल फिक्सेस का तो काम ही है कि आपको आपकी लिमिटिंग बिलीफ से बाहर लाया जाए. ये मैं शायद हर एपिसोड में बोलती हूँ कि इसी पर्पज से मैंने लिटिल फिक्सेस स्टार्ट किया था. तो आज के एपिसोड से भी आपको अपने बहुत सारे लिमिटिंग बिलीफ्स मे बी मनी से रिलेटेड जो हैं उनके बारे में पता चल रहा होगा. एंड नाउ यू मस्ट बी वंडरिंग कि इनका क्या सोल्यूशन हो सकता है, या फिर इतना सारा जो हम पैसे की बात कर रहे हैं, इज इट ग्रीड, या फिर जो ये अबंडेंस वाला माइंडसेट है, उन दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है. तो डॉक्टर डेका, आई वुड लाइक टू नो कि ग्रीड या अबंडेंस, बिकॉज मेनी पीपल से कि पैसे का लालच होता है कि यू कैन मेक डू विद मे बी 10,000 अ मंथ, बट नहीं, तुम्हें तो 1 लाख ही चाहिए. तो ये ग्रीड वाला जो माइंडसेट है, ये भी फाइनेंशियल ट्रॉमा में आता है, या फिर अगर मतलब डज इट आल्सो, आई मीन, इज ग्रीड रियली अ थिंग?
Right. So greed is truly a thing. Just like there is lust, there is greed. Just like there is pride about who you are and your identity, but there is also toxic pride, right? So I'm talking about all those 7 sins that we get to know, right? So what I'm trying to say is greed is real, okay? But greed it always appears when there is obsession about something, right? So when there is an obsessive energy attached to your desire. For example, uh, we live in a world of instant gratification, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Starting with food, the moment we want to have any certain food, we have our phone and we have an app to which we can type on that app and get the food that we want delivered at our doorstep in less than 15 minutes. We have an app for falling in love. We have an app for swiping right and meeting people or hooking up for sex. What I'm trying to say is because we live in a world of instant gratification, therefore, there is always obsession around there is something else. I'm missing out on something else. There is more, there is more, there is more. There are more options. This is what
Mm-hmm.
the mindset is for a lot of us because that's how we are conditioned. It's
Mm-hmm.
not our fault. It's no one's fault. This is how the conditioning has happened in, let's say, in the last 10 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the evolution of technology, evolution of human connections, all of those things. Now, as a result of which, people are always on the brink of desperation. And the energy of desperation often leads us to obsession. And there is always this feeling of, I'm missing out on something. Perhaps there is more, there is more, there is more. And that kind of energy is what leads to greed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we can replace that greed with one single understanding wherein, okay, let's look at what I already have. I am able to earn, let's say, 1 lakh a month. Let's first look at that. Do I have gratitude for it? Am I
Mm-hmm.
able to accept and acknowledge and feel good that I have this 1 lakh with me? Can I stay here, pause for a moment and say, oh, I have 1 lakh. I'm so thankful. And then when I say that, I'm actually opening myself up to even having more of it because gratitude, what it does is the real meaning of gratitude is I'm so thankful for what I have right in this moment, and I'm open to having more of this experience. So, yes, I am able to earn 1 lakh a month, and I'm staying back, pausing for a moment, offering my gratitude instead of going out in the desperation of I want more. There is more. I'm missing out on something. So I'm not actually discarding and discounting what I have already experienced. I'm in fact staying with it for a while, expressing my gratitude, and then opening myself up to having more of it. So that's when abundance mindset sets in. So one of the greatest ingredients of having an abundant mindset is gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest ingredients of greed is desperation and fear of missing out. So that is the difference.
ओके गॉट इट सो अगर हम अबेंडेंस को डिफाइन करना चाहें इस माइंडसेट को डिफाइन करना चाहें तो हाउ डू वी डिफाइन इट बिकॉज दिस वर्ड इज काइंड ऑफ अ बज़वर्ड दीस डेज हर कोई यूज करता है बट
Right,
समझना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है तो वी वुड लाइक टू नो योर व्यूज
right. So people think abundance simply means money. And the moment I utter the word abundance, people always have a mental image of notes and coins. Okay. So, but that is not abundance. Abundance is everything. If you look out to the universe, if you look out on the road where you live, where your house is, okay, if that road, let's say, vehicles stop coming there, and there are no cars, there's no bus, there's no bike going on there, people stop moving around on that road, what is going to happen in the next 5 years? We will have a lot of plants and trees and weeds coming up, right? What will happen in the next 20 years? Well, there will be a whole ecosystem, there will be animals, there will be insects, there will be mammals, and all sorts of things, right? What I'm trying to say that nature is already in a state of abundance, okay? Everything, when it exists in its own fullest, whole, complete form, it is already abundant. So when we talk about lack, okay, so is the lack or the block towards having abundance is outside of you or inside of you? Obviously, it's inside of you because outside in nature, it is naturally abundant. So the primary energy of nature is an abundant energy. When I leave a loaf of bread outside my refrigerator and I forget to put it in my refrigerator, what is going to happen the next day? I'm going to have fungi and mold over there. Okay. Of course, my mind will tell me at that moment that I'm disgusted. I can't eat this and I throw it away. But can I discount the fact that there is a whole range of thousands of colony of fungus on that bread and it's an abundant colony? Okay.
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to say is our entire environment where we live in is already abundant. It is our limiting belief systems around how we perceive abundance makes us feel the lack. Okay. So abundance is everything. Abundance is your relationship, which lets you grow to your biggest potential. Abundance is the food that you eat that appears on your table every single day without delay. Abundance is the books that you read, the knowledge you gather, and you are able to do your work. Abundance is millions of social media reels and podcasts like this that I'm watching on Instagram and learning probably. Everything is abundance that contributes to growing your growth as an individual, as a human being. Now, it will depend on how you consume it, whether through grief or greed or through gratitude.
Mhm. Okay, wow, what a perspective. मतलब कुछ नया समझ में आया, and I loved listening to you explaining this concept of abundance, and I'm sure कि listeners को भी कुछ समझ में आएगा कि what exactly is it, because you just did not talk about money. You also said कि जो fungi है bread पे, that is also a part of nature's abundance. So I mean,
Absolutely.
बहुत ही
Yeah.
interesting लगा मुझे सुन के, and very एक टेक अवे रहा, बहुत ही अच्छा टेक अवे रहा मेरे लिए.
Thank
So,
you.
Dr. Deka, now we would like to know about coming out from this mental financial trauma. So, what happens with me? Ki, whenever I feel anxiety related to money, I feel it in my stomach. So,
Right.
is it like बॉडी बेस्ड वर्क होता है या फिर माइंडसेट शिफ्ट होता है या दोनों का इंटीग्रेशन होता है, लाइक यू डू?
Right. Thank you. This question is again a very important question because I always say that trauma जो होता है, trauma हमारे intellect में, हमारे mind में, हमारे brain में ही नहीं होता. Trauma हमारे body में भी होता है, right? So trauma lives in our body. कैसे? How? Most people ask me कि how is it possible? Trauma कैसे body में रह सकता है? Trauma तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ, इस जो घटना हो गया है, I went through a heartbreak, I went through an accident, and every time I think about it, I have these flashes, right? But I'm thinking about it, body में कैसे हो सकता है? And then I ask them that every time you think about it, what happens to your hands, the extremities of your hands? What happens to your chest? What happens to your stomach? What happens to your feet? And then they will start telling me, my hands start shivering and my heart starts pounding and I feel empty, like in the pit of my stomach. And I feel कि जैसे, पैरों के नीचे से जमीन खिसक गई है. So these are what? These are body responses, isn't it? So in any trauma, there are three things that can happen. Okay, there can be either the body, it wants to fight the trauma, fight mode पे चली जाती है, hyper हो जाती है body, right? या तो body क्या होता है कि it will simply want to flee, escape करना चाहेगा. जैसे सामने कोई tiger आ गया and you suddenly want to run and your heartbeat is like fast, your blood pressure shoots up, right? या फिर you simply freeze, right? कई लोग जब खबर मिलती है फोन पे and then they suddenly freeze and don't know what to say, they numb out basically, isn't it? So fight हो सकता है, flight हो सकता है, freeze हो सकता है. Now money trauma or experiences around money which are negative, okay, even those experiences can produce the same kind of response in the body. वो कोई special trauma नहीं है because money के साथ आपका relationship emotional है, right? So आपके emotions activate होंगे. You will either have a fight, flight or freeze response. So you will have an emotional response to it. इसीलिए मनी ट्रॉमा हील करते वक्त भी हमें बॉडी से रिलीज करना होगा because even those feelings around money, whether you feel anxious around money, whether you feel empty in the pit of your stomach whenever you have to ask money from your clients, or when someone deposits a large chunk of money in your bank and you feel that, oh my God, what is going to happen now? What if these tax people come and question me? Even then your heart starts pounding and you start sweating. So सारे reactions आपके body में हैं, okay? Even though you're thinking through your brain. So we will have to definitely do body-based, awareness-based release. Then we will have to, of course, intellectually understand कि ये trauma कहाँ से आ रहा है, मेरे parents की story से, कि from my generational story, or is it from my grandmother's life, or is it from my granduncle's life? Intellectual understanding भी चाहिए, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ बॉडी बेस्ड रिलीज भी चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर बॉडी से रिलीज नहीं होगा तो हम ट्रॉमा को इंटेलेक्चुअलाइज नहीं कर सकते. We only have to first do the body work and then have an intellectual understanding, right? Because some people will tell us कि वो मुझे समझ में तो आ गया, लेकिन मुझे फिर भी वैसा लगता है जब भी I am around money, मुझे फिर भी ऐसा लगता है. What is that? So there is a disassociation between intellectual understanding and body responses. So उस disassociation को association में बदलने के लिए we will have to bring the mind and the body together through body based release while we intellectually understand it. Right?
Okay. Wow. Thank you for explaining that. And now we would like to know how we can take small steps towards healing our financial trauma. Like, yes, therapy is an option. But before that, if you want to see कि और क्या कर सकते हैं, तो what would you suggest?
Yeah. So I would say step one, take a take a pen and paper, okay, and write down what is your biggest fear around money. What's your worst fear around money? What is the worst thing that can happen to you when it comes to having money, not having money, lack of money, or having too much of money? Money से associated जितने भी fears है, biggest fears, list them down. Okay, so that's step number one. Then when you write them in a legible sentence in front of you, for example, you say things like, if I have a lot of money, someone is going to take it away. Or the moment I have money, I spend it. So I'm scared of earning money. Or if, let's say, there's a sentence like, I know I will be able to make money, but I will never be able to manage it. That's my biggest fear, let's say. So when you have written down these sentences for yourself, the next column that you write is, on top of the column, just write, whose voice is that? Okay, so the heading is, whose voice is that? And you will see that these lines that you have written down are echoes from someone in your family. Probably it's your dad's voice. Probably it's your mom's voice. Maybe it's your uncle's voice who lost a lot of money. Maybe it's your granddad's voice who could never manage money even though he made a lot of money, right? That's one, right? So you have already identified कि ये किसी और की voice है. ये मेरी नहीं है. मैंने इसको absorb किया है. मैंने सीखा है इसको, and therefore it has become a part of my body, my genetics, and my intellectual mind, right? And my body as well. Now, in the next column, what you do is you write the name of the person or persons जिनसे आपने ये सारे belief systems absorb किए हैं, okay? And last step is you sit down, put your feet on the ground, and close your eyes and take a slow, deep, long breath to the center of your stomach and breathe in and visualize this person. And this person or persons can be dead or can be alive. And because they are your elders, they could be your mom, dad, grandfather, uncle, grandmother, whoever it is, you simply bow down to them and you join your hands and you tell them that you are my, let's say, ancestor, or you are my mom, or you are my grandmom. And I know you will never want me to carry this and limit my life and limit my abundance. So with due respect and with a lot of love, I'm returning this to you. And then you feel as if from your body or from the pit of your stomach, all these feelings that you had written down in the piece of paper are slowly moving out with every breath. Do this for 5 minutes and you will see you will be much, much, much lighter. And you can keep repeating this exercise with these 4 steps that I have given, as many days as you want. Some people do it for 21, some people do it for 69 days, some people do it throughout the year. I do it throughout the year.
Okay, wow, very interesting. मतलब अपने आप को ही आप therapy दे रहे हो. It's kind of a meditation.
True.
Okay, very interesting. And Dr. Deka, do you also recommend some books or maybe websites or courses to heal financial trauma?
Right. So one of the books that brings a lot of fun element to money is because you see, we have such serious relationship with money, we can never have fun. And then पैसे बचाओ, save करो, खत्म हो जाएगा. This is the anxiety and tension we live with, right? So can we for one day allow ourselves to have fun with money at least, So in order to bring that fun element and the energy of ease and energy of comfort around having money and spending money, there's one book called Money is Not the Problem, You Are. Okay. And this book is by Dr. Dan here. Okay, so he has this very famous organization and practice called Access Consciousness. And I love the book. Money is not the problem, you are. That's one. Okay. The other book on intergenerational trauma, this is not specifically about money, but it is about how to look at intergenerational trauma. And there is a chapter on money. So this book is called It Didn't Start With You. It didn't start with you. Because it is pointing out that the story that you are going through is not yours. It has started from somewhere else in your generation. So It Didn't Start With You is by Mark Wolin. Mark Wolin is my teacher of inherited family trauma and family constellation. And I run a streamable course called The Truth Behind Your Financial Reality, where I break down the entire money reality of people and show how to find out the different traumas around money that they carry from their intergenerational line by making genograms, or in other words, by making a family tree and finding out where in that entire family tree are the money traumas related and located. And then there are exercises based on those locations to release all those money traumas so that you can have a completely new financial reality from your current one. So it's a streamable one. People can simply buy it and do it. That's all.
Wow.
By themselves.
Okay, so these are the courses. You run this course. So if someone wants to find out more about your course and your other work, like where should they connect with you?
Well, I have my Instagram handle, and they can simply visit the link in bio. And the moment they go there, they will find a tab on my courses along with this particular course, The Truth Behind Your Financial Reality. And they simply need to click on that tab on my Linktree bio. And they will be able to see the description of this course as well as fill up a form in order to purchase this course.
Okay. So the Instagram handle is Dr. Gaurav Deka, right?
Yes. Yeah. Dr. Gaurav Deka.
So do check out Dr. Deka's Instagram, his courses, his work. Like his own Instagram page is like a therapy. कि आपको अलग-अलग छोटी-छोटी चीजों के tidbits टाइप की चीजें मिलती रहेंगी कि हाँ ये प्रॉब्लम है आई कैन हील इट दिस वे सॉल्व इट दैट वे. तो ही हैज अ वेरी नाइस पेज जहाँ पे आपकी बहुत सारी हेल्प हो सकती है. तो डू चेक दैट आउट. एंड डॉक्टर डेका, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग ऑन लिटिल फिक्सेस. मैंने आपसे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस छोटे-छोटे कॉन्वर्सेशन के अंदर भी पूछ लिए एंड यू वेरी पेशेंटली आंसर्ड देम. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thanks a lot, Maitri. I had a fabulous time talking about money. It's one of the most difficult topics actually to talk about because we think that how can we talk about money in something like therapy or coaching? But then because, I want to end this with that money is never money. Money is an energy. And we have to start looking at it as energy. Only then we can have a more wholesome relationship with it. So yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to speak about this.
Yeah, it was my pleasure all the way. And now, I'm sure you love this episode. और डॉक्टर डेका ने एक टेक अवे भी आपको लास्ट में दे दिया है. तो शेयर योर टेक अवेज फ्रॉम दिस एपिसोड विद मी ऑन Instagram @littlefixespodcast. ये एपिसोड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हर किसी के लिए, तो प्लीज शेयर इट विद पीपल यू केयर अबाउट. आप भी अपनी फेवरेट पॉडकास्ट ऐप पे लिटिल फिक्सेस पॉडकास्ट को सब्सक्राइब जरूर कर लो, चाहे आप Spotify पे सुनते हो या एप्पल पॉडकास्ट पे सुनते हो, गाना पे सुनते हो या गूगल पॉडकास्ट पे या Amazon म्यूजिक, इवन अलेक्सा पे, राइट? सो अब मिलते हैं जल्दी ही. तब तक के लिए लाइफ में मजे करो और सदा सैसी रहो. बाय.